Hello and welcome back to the FLORENTINO Football channel, and today we are talking about the European Super League. Now, of course, I did do a live stream about the European Super League, but we are back for a more in-depth chat about it. So without further ado, let's get into this. So what is the European Super League? So the European Super League is a competition made up by 12 of the biggest teams in world football. These being AC Milan, Arsenal, Inter Milan, Juventus, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Spurs, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. So that's of course the big six in the Premier League. That's the three biggest teams in Spain and the three biggest teams in Italy. Notice how I say biggest and not the best. It's just the ones that bring in the most eyes and have the biggest fan bases. There is then a potentially 3 other founding clubs to be announced. There's reports that these clubs were Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich and PSG. However, all 3 of these clubs have come out and denied any part of this European Super League. So it remains to be seen if these were the 3 teams or if there are 3 other teams waiting to join the Super League. Now, these 12/ potentially 15 founders of the European Super League will remain and run the league. So they will be in charge of everything. They have the power. And using that power, these founding members of the Super League have made it so these clubs cannot leave the competition. They can't be relegated, and of course they can't be promoted. This idea of no relegation and no promotion for these 12 to 15 clubs ruins and removes a key part of football: competitiveness and earning the right to play at the top level. You look back over the years, you earn the right to play in the Premier League by climbing the English football pyramid. You win the championship, or you get promoted from the championship, you earn the right to play in the Premier League. With this competition, you don't earn the right to play in it. You get the right by being the biggest club. Not the best club, the biggest. And there's the first massive issue with this competition. But how will the competition work? Well, there'll be 20 teams in the Super League. Of course, 12 to 15 of them will be the founding members. The rest of the spots will be taken by teams around Europe. These 20 teams are then split up into 2 groups of 10, and they will play each other home and away to sort out a group / a table. Top 3 from both of them tables will then qualify automatically to a knockout style tournament. Then 4th and 5th in both of them tables will play a playoff match to reach the knockout stages of the Super League, where we will then see a more traditional tournament like we see in the Champions League, where you have quarterfinals, semi-finals and a final. All of them will be 2 legs apart from the final, which will just be the 1 leg. So what are the issues with this tournament? Well, like I said already, the main issue and the biggest issue so far is the lack of competitiveness. No matter what, there will always be the same 12 to 15 clubs in this competition, disregarding their performances on the pitch. Look at Arsenal at the moment. They're 9th in the Premier League. West Ham are above them. Leicester are above them. But Arsenal get into this because they have a bigger fan base. That's not how football works. And that's not how it should work. It is a disgrace that Arsenal have been put into it, but not West Ham, for example, just because West Ham have a bigger fan base. This competition then also ruins the idea of rising through the ranks. It kills the dream of a small team like in League One, for example, Peterborough United. It ruins the dream of them starting in League One, climbing through the ranks, and then getting and earning the right to go to the Nou Camp and play Barcelona in the Champions League, because they have no chance of getting there. Because Barcelona are now in the Super League, so they're not playing Champions League football. So whether Peterborough will ever get to play, you never know. You don't know, because you have to. It's kind of more of an invite tournament. The way I like to think about it, it's like when you go to the park and you own the football. You decide who's playing, and that's kind of what this league is. It's my ball, my rules, and that's a massive issue. There's no regulative body there to make it fair. It's the clubs, they decide. And I think the biggest issue with this is it kills the domestic game. You think about what it will cause. If Manchester United, for example, are having to play 3 games a week, what competition do you think they will put first? Do you think they'll put the Premier League first, a competition where they'll get less money? Or do you think they'll put forward the Super League, a competition against the best clubs, against the best players, and where they'll get the most money. They're going to prioritise the Super League, meaning we're going to see second string sides being played in the Premier League because they can't play both, can they? Or what we're going to see is these big clubs buy all the best talent and have two different first 11s, and then the rest of the league will be absolutely in tatters because all of their best players are now playing for the top 6 because they need them. So we're in a position where either we kill the rest of the league because we've taken all their best players, or we kill the rest of the league because the top 6 don't put their best players in the Premier League, meaning less people want to watch the Premier League, meaning revenue drops. And I think we've seen an example of this idea having already taken place in the Premier League or in English football. Look at the state of the FA Cup. The FA Cup used to be this massive trophy and something all the big clubs would want to win. Look at the amount of squad rotation we get that in that competition now. It's a second thing. It's a second thought because it doesn't pay as well as the Premier League. Premier League is the priority. Everyone would prefer to come 4th in the Premier League than to win the FA Cup because you get more money and you get Champions League football. And that will be the same for the Premier League. The Premier League will just be another revenue source for these big clubs because the Super League is what's important to them. They want to win the Super League. They're going to be in it no matter what. So they don't care about the Premier League. That would just be, we'll make sure we stay up and we'll take in the Premier League revenue money. We don't care about what else is happening there. And going back to my previous point about the league will lose money, obviously that for one will drop the quality of players wanting to come to the Premier League. Players don't come to the Premier League because it's nice weather. They go to Spain for that. They come here because we can pay them the most money and because we have a competitive league. If we remove our top 6, that money's disappearing because there's less eyes on it, so less people want to pay to watch it, meaning the broadcast revenue is going to be lower. So the teams will get less money, so they have less money to buy players. And as such, the league in general will just have less money, meaning the English football pyramid, which relies on the Premier League a fair amount, will begin to crumble. And it will be at one step forward towards the English Football League collapsing. And then for me, one of the biggest points about why this Super League is a bad thing, it kills history. You think about the history of some football clubs. Manchester United built around European football, really. You think of the Busby Babes, of the unfortunate Munich air disaster, the treble, the Manchester United treble winning season, the biggest thing in the Manchester United's history, our best achievement. The reason our current manager is so infamous within the Manchester United fan base, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's won at the end. The treble. Fucks that off. The domestic trophies will have to go because there's so many games in the Super League. Teams are going to be playing about 20 games just in the group stage. Where are they going to fit all them games in? Midweek. That's when the FA Cup and League Cup is. So they're going to have to go. So this one Super League kills the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Premier League. The 3 parts to the infamous treble. And the fact Manchester United have signed up to this, with that being our history, is an absolute joke. And why is this happening? It's happening because these greedy owners want to try and Americanise the sport. They want to make it as profitable as possible, and as such, that is why we are seeing this happen. They want to make sure and guarantee the best players are always playing in the same league so they can advertise it as the best. With the Champions League and its current stature, theoretically this year, Liverpool may not be in the Champions League. So they're without the best centre-back in the world in Van Dijk, one of the best wingers in the world in Salah, Mane, all will miss out on the Champions League. That will take a hit. You look at Egypt, for example. People in Egypt will be less likely to want to watch the Champions League this year because Salah won't be in it. However, in the Super League, that's not an issue because Salah will, as long as he stays within the Super League, will always be there. And this is the American style model which we see with the MLS, with just other American sports. It's always the same league, same teams in the same league, same players staying in that league, just moving around the league, because that is where the money's at. That is where the best teams are, that is where it's easiest to monetize, and that is how they'll get the most money. And remember, this won't be the only thing that will change. This is just the start. We will see home games get moved around the world. We've already seen in Spain the Copa del Rey final move to Saudi Arabia. We will start to see that with the Super League. We will see Old Trafford not be used for all Manchester United home games, but it will go to the highest bidder. Saudi Arabia, they bid 100 million. We play our home games there for a bit. It will kill the game. It will absolutely kill it. Of course, the footballing world hasn't taken too kindly to the idea of a Super League. Gary Neville was particularly strong in his reaction to the idea of a Super League and has called for point deductions to all teams involved in the Super League and signing up for it. Of course, since the official announcement, there's been more and more criticism. Ander Herrera has said this: "I fell in love with popular football, with the football of the fans, with the dreams of seeing the team of my heart compete against the greatest. If this European Super League advances, those dreams are over." Mesut Ozil has also said this: "Kids grow up dreaming to win the World Cup and the Champions League, not any Super League. The enjoyment of big games is that they only happen once or twice a year, not every week." Daniel Podence of Wolves have also come out and said this: the ball, the song, the dream. The Zidane volley, the Kaká solo, Liverpool in Athens, Oli in Barcelona, Chris and Seedorf. There are some things we just really can't pay for. Bruno Fernandes has then come out, being the first player actually part of the Super League to make an announcement, replying to Daniel Podence's Instagram message with this, simply just saying, "Dreams cannot be brought." Both Thomas Tuchel and Mikel Arteta has come out and said they have had no idea about the plans of a Super League until the official announcement was made last night. Mikel Arteta saying, "We, the players and the coaches, had no idea about the Super League before yesterday's announcement." So no one's taken to this well. Finally, both Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson, both massive parts of football in general. Arsene Wenger, obviously the most famous man associated to Arsenal, really. Sir Alex Ferguson, he's got his own stand outside Manchester United. Is the reason Manchester United are where they are today. Both of them have made an announcement. Sir Alex Ferguson saying thus: "A piece of nonsense. It has done the reputation of clubs no good and has in fact alienated a great many supporters. It sells them right down the river and you can't disregard your fans and customers." Wenger also said this: "I would say that it's a bad idea. Football has to stay united. That's the most important thing. And based on sporting merit and to overall respect the history that has been built throughout European history. I believe personally this is not a good idea and it will not go far." These are big statements and looks like change will be happening. UEFA have of course come out and said this: "Players who play in the Super League will be banned from participating in World Cups and European Championships," of course that being the Euros, "for their national teams." They've also mentioned and commented about why this competition is stupid in its format, saying things change. Juventus were in Serie B. Manchester United before Alex Ferguson were I don't know where. Aston Villa was a big club. Why are they creating this? Because they are not managed right. Basically meaning things change. At one minute you can be a small club. Manchester City were brought 20 years ago? Before that, they were a nothing club. Now they are one of the biggest in the world. Things change. Newcastle were nearly brought by Saudi Arabian billionaires a few years ago. If that happened, would they have been invited to it? Because they would be one of the biggest clubs. Things change in football. And to have a league that is structured around teams and saying you will never leave this just does not work. Further action looks like it will take place with rumours that all clubs that have signed up for the Super League will be removed and banned from the Champions League and the Europa League. Meaning PSG will be made champions of the Champions League, with both Real Madrid, Manchester City and Chelsea all getting knocked out for being part of the Super League. And Roma and Villarreal battling it out for the champions of the Europa League, with Arsenal and Manchester United both being knocked out, thanks to once again being part of the Super League. Talks are set to take place between the rest of the Premier League to discuss what action should be taken place against these sides looking to take part in the Super League. Like I mentioned, Gary Neville has called for point deductions. I completely agree. I know it will affect my club, Manchester United, but this is bigger than our club. This is bigger than football. This isn't right. This has to be stamped out. These owners have to be got rid of. They are ruining the game. How many times are we going to let these sort of owners ruin football clubs? It's not on. The English government has also announced plans to ensure the English football system is unharmed in any way, and they'll do whatever it takes to ensure that is the case. This may also include a change in how football club ownership will work, adopting a more German style with their 50+1 rule, which basically means over 50% of that club has to be owned by the fans, meaning the board and rich people can't make the decisions for the fans. The fans have final say. Finally, look, I think it's sickening what is happening to our beautiful game. They are milking our teams, our clubs dry. Make no mistakes about it. It's not the clubs that are evil, it's the owners. The clubs, and I keep saying this, the club is the fans. It's the history. The owners are not the club. We are the club. We have to stand for our club. We have to make a stand. No matter what, this is our club, not theirs. All they care about is the stock prices, is how much money is in their back pocket. And if this doesn't get reversed, we have to make them pay. Don't watch the games. Don't buy the revenue. Don't buy the merchandise. Don't watch it. Don't give them anything, because that will stop them. All that matters to them is their back pocket. And unless they get hit in that way, this will not change. Hopefully, something will happen and will change the minds of these clubs and will stop this Super League. Regardless of how it has to happen, it has to stop. And look, like I said, how many more times are we going to let greedy owners ruin football clubs before we take a stand? And before not just the British government and Prime Minister and Boris Johnson, but the world makes a stand and stops it. Hopefully, this is the time. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In a bit. Peace.